Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another Battlefront 2 mods video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the mod Instant Action Nien Nunb hero by LEGO Lover 5. And with this mod we can finally play as one of my favorite heroes from Battlefront 2015, and just like the Greedo mod I recently made a video for, Nien Nunb is a brand new hero and he's playable alongside all the official DICE heroes. And just a few things before we dive into the mod. It does require Frosty Alpha and Mophead's Instant Action Overhaul as well as the gameplay merger. And if you're going to download this mod, I highly recommend that Greedo mod by BTech Math, because ever since the Outer Rim DLC, these two have always just kind of came in a package and they fit beautifully together. So let's get into the Sullustian hero himself. Nien Nunb comes into the Battlefront as a hero for the original trilogy era, and he fits in perfectly with the current hero lineup. He has about 775 health, which puts him about the same rank as most of the other blaster heroes in the game. His main weapon is a modified DH-17 blaster, which is essentially just the rapid fire mode turned on, and he also comes with 4 new abilities that are very similar to what he carried back in Battlefront 2015. Nien Nunb is a very defensive hero, and he's best used when holding down objectives and taking out infantry units in tight corridors. He's also pretty efficient at long distance combat and holding his own against other villains. And now let's dive into more detail about his abilities. Nien Nunb's first ability is the Impact Grenade, and it's pretty much the same one the heavy class carries, but it deals a lot more damage. And the recharge rate is much faster, allowing him to continuously throw them over and over again. And it may come across as a pretty basic ability at first, but the more you use it, the more you appreciate him having it. It can quickly wipe out any infantry that gets in your way, and is really good at taking out groups of enemies too. It can also deal a lot of damage to enemy heroes, and is very helpful for hitting saber heroes specifically, especially when they're just blocking your regular blaster fire. Nien Nunb has always been a sort of demolitions expert, and this ability shows that. His next ability is another one we've seen before, and it's the Detonite Charge used by Han Solo. And similar to the last ability, it's nothing really new. However, it definitely is a must for Nien Nunb, as he was the first hero to even use the Detonite Charge back in Battlefront 2015. I do wish it worked more like how it did in the last game though, where he would place down one of his charges and it would only blow up if an enemy became within proximity of it. That ability really helped Nien Nunb feel like a sort of trap expert and helped him lock down areas and destroy any enemies who trespassed. But this new version does an adequate job of replicating one of his classic abilities, and it works extremely well when paired with the Impact Grenade to put out some massive explosive damage. His third ability is yet another returning one from the 2015 version, and that is his Blaster Turret. This lets him really play that support role, almost like a sort of officer class type of hero, allowing Nien Nunb to be an essential hero pick in any game modes like Supremacy, especially when defending command posts, which is what I've always loved about Nien Nunb from the last game. Not only was he a deadly hero in modes like Heroes vs Villains, but where he really shined was on the front lines with your team supporting the objective. And as for the Blaster Turret itself, it's not much different than the Officer's version. It has a higher damage output and is just another must-have ability for him. His fourth and final ability is the Pulse Cannon, and for me personally, it's probably my least favorite one. And that's just because I really don't like the Pulse Cannon in Battlefront 2, even the one Aiden uses, and I've never really been a sniper in general. It's just too slow to use up close, and I end up just taking too much damage simply charging up one shot. And obviously it's supposed to be used at a distance, but all of his other abilities work much better when you're in close quarters combat, so I find myself just not using the Pulse Cannon in favor of all of his other 3 abilities. Which is a shame because I love the Pulse Cannon he had in the last game. It was just so much faster and more useful at long range and short range. However, despite my personal problems with it, if you're a Specialist fan or even a Pulse Cannon enjoyer, you'll get a lot of use out of his ability. And like all of his others, it makes sense for him to have it, as the mod is trying to recreate Nien Nunb from the last game. So that pretty much sums up everything we get with this new hero, and even though all of his abilities are essentially just reused from other units and heroes, it still feels fresh and new when you put them all together, and it's really what I've always wanted and expected from Nien Nunb if DICE had ever officially released him. Playing as him again just felt right, like he belonged in the game, because, I mean, he did. And it brought back all the nostalgia from when he was first released in the Outer Rim DLC back in 2016, and all the kill streaks I had with that gorgeous Sullustian. And if I had to compare, I would say I like the Greedo mod I covered in my last video a bit more. He just feels more unique and kind of like a refined version of the 2015 Greedo, where Nien Nunb feels pretty much the same, if not a little downgraded from his previous version. And that's mostly due to the limitations of the current mod tools and the inability to sort of recreate his exact abilities from the last game. So with all that covered, we'll end it here, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, it really helps the channel grow, and comment down below what you think of the mod yourself. And if you want to see more Battlefront 2 mod content, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.